Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we're back again with another war video. This is war 3 of season 11. Now I did not record war number 2 just because I had a bit too much lost footage in those, because the war basically I have to play during work, so occasionally I forget to record some stuff of it. Anyways, so we're on path 9 and we're facing off against MMX, so the defense is surely going to be stacked, and later on in section 2 we're going to go on path 5, clear the middle, and then have a whole lot of mini boss and boss action as well in this video. So first things first, we have Aegis Heavy node with Agent Venom on it. I will make a tiny small slip up in the beginning of the fight, because I'll forget that I need to do 2 dashbacks if I want to punish his heavy with my own heavy. So there we go, we ate a heavy attack, but now we're all set and go. We baited out 1 heavy attack, punished it with our own, removed 3 of his charges. Now we did the same thing again, and we are good to start dealing damage. We are on 14 charges, 1 bar of power. We should have no problems closing this fight out, especially because we put on some medium level boosts. We also have cosmic power boosts, which isn't really needed in this one, but still we put it on just in case kind of thing. So here we go with Corvus. We spammed the level 2, another level 2, 19 hits. The fight is over super quick, barely an inconvenience. So now let's move on, and now we have Aegis Intercept on Thor Ragnarok. So this guy is fairly annoying. I can definitely see why so many alliances place him there. I think out of my last like 6-7 wars, I have faced him there pretty much every single time, aside from one time I've had Domino on it. But game plan here is fairly simple. We want to intercept him and then let him auto block us, and once he does, just eat that combo, knock him down with a heavy attack, and then we're good to go. So now he auto blocked us, he parried us obviously, and we ate a few hits. Now we just need to knock him down with a heavy attack. We have True Strike active. We do not have to worry about that auto block anymore for as long as we have that Corvus Glaive charges and we have True Strike active. So now we need to land 3 intercepts, which I do mess up slightly over there, but it's not too big of a deal. So we have 2 more to go. Landed 1, need to wait out this level 1. Now we also need to watch out for his power gain, and that kind of makes this fight a bit tricky, especially also with that Bulwark node, because Bulwark is annoying when on this fight. It just makes it longer and you're kind of cutting it short in your charges before as is. So now that we have gotten rid of his indestructible charges, intercept charges, we dropped to level 3 and we basically just need to close out the fight. However, we're almost out of glaive charges and we're gonna have to wait for a new set to finish this fight out. That means we're gonna be fairly short on time. So now we triggered his power gain again. We need to quickly bait out a special attack, and now that we have done so, we need to just watch his health meter, because this node also has backup recovery. So there are quite a few things to keep in mind, and it's not the easiest fight in a sense. Like, it's nothing overly difficult, but you just need to be careful all the time not to get him to level 3, to land those intercepts and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's a bit of a long fight in this case with Corvus. It's mainly because of that Bulwark node as well, and the indestructible, and the fact that you can occasionally deal no damage because of it, and it's just frustrating. So now we triggered his power gain again. We're dropping our level 3 to disable it, and then our charges should be coming back fairly soon after this level 3, and we just need to wait out till then, deal as much damage meanwhile, and quickly finish off the fight, because there is just a bit over 30 seconds left in this fight. So the time is cutting it close, but I'm not too worried about the time. It's kind of more about not messing up, because we're only at 28% health by the end of this. So that is quite frustrating, because typically if you go with Corvus in this fight, you will have to use at least a couple of potions to heal up after this fight. So now my section 1 is pretty much done. The nihilist that we can see now was still linked, so I went to bed, I woke up and it was still there. So I figured, why not? I did it once with Quake in first war, and we're gonna basically use the same strategy again. I am gonna put on some boosts for these bits, because I also intend to take a mini boss in the middle. So we're once again gonna boost up a bit, and that is kind of like my biggest dislike about this map, because it can get really costly to boost up, especially for like more serious wars. Even though I'm not using any of the big boosts, it still all adds up, and it is like really annoying. Because of all the sections and teleports, and you just can't boost once or twice a war, especially if you do mini boss, you need to boost multiple times. But anyways, let's go in against that Annihilus. So the most annoying bit about this guy is that Aegis heavy node, and in Quake's case the fact that we only do one hit heavy attack, so we need land 6 heavy attacks before we can start dealing damage. Now the rest of the stuff on there I'm not kind of like too fussed about. That close relationship thing is actually helpful for most part, because it can give us some willpower heal. But so here we go. The plan is fairly simple. Stick in the corner, wait out for our aftershock charges, land 2 heavy attacks, and bait out his special attack if he is past bar power, and then basically rinse and repeat till we remove the 6 heavy charges that he has on him. And once we do, we can just carry on with this fight as business as normal. So now he has 2 charges left. The stun is about to kick in. It just did. So we drop 2 heavy attacks. He has no charges remaining. 2 minutes left in the fight. Absolutely no problem for Quake to close this one out. We just need to be careful not to get hit too much, and that is about it. So he's at 44%. And once again, that close relationship thing is actually healing us up a bit with that weakness debuff. So we are dealing a bit less damage, but it's not too important, I suppose, especially if we don't get many of them stacked up. So now he's at 17%, we're about to close the fight out, and there's nothing difficult remaining in this fight. So initially just the annoying bit is to get rid of those Aegis heavy charges with Quake. Other than that, it's super easy. So now we're moving on to middle section. And yeah, this is going to be another war with like a whole bunch of fights. So anyways, both of the middle minis are still linked. So I'm going for Infinity War Iron Man, especially because I have True Strike active on Corvus and 2 missions. So we shouldn't have too many problems dealing with this guy. So he does have that Bulwark global node that is affecting him. So we do need to be careful for when he goes indestructible. But other than that, there's nothing too much in this fight. It's just an Infinity War Iron Man. Used to be a tough defender. Now he's more or less a cakewalk if you have appropriate counter to him, like Corvus for instance. And here we go, like 13 hits in, he's pretty much on half health already. So we just need to finish it out. I need to get to our level 2, and that is going to be all she wrote. Also, because he's Avenger, we started with 30 charges, so we definitely have enough to finish this fight out. Now it triggered that indestructible, so we need to wait it out. As soon as it goes on cooldown, we are able to finish this fight out with like a massive level 2, 25 hits. Really not the toughest fight to deal with for Corvus. And now we dealt with this guy, and we're gonna jump on section 3 in a moment. So first fight there is gonna be that Punisher 2099. So yeah, we are transitioning to path 5 just because there are a bunch of like unblockable nodes, and Quake is for most part fairly suitable dealing with it. But here I figured I might as well just swing in my Corvus. Or not. Did I use Quake? Oh, I thought I used Corvus. Never mind. So we're taking in Quake, and it's an easy matchup for Quake there. Nothing kind of too tricky. We just need to do whatever Quake normally does. Completely ignore the fact that he's unblockable and just let him die quickly. But at this point, war was already looking, well, let's just say less than well. So I was getting a bit frustrated, and you're going to see that in next fight, because next fight I do make like a mistake, but I don't even know what really happened there, but something happened. So now I just need to quickly finish off this Punisher before we move on to Captain Marvel on another unblockable node. And so here we finish him off with 59% health, and that was all just purely suicide damage. So now we're moving on to that Captain Marvel, and here is gonna be my whoopsie of the war. So we're taking in Quake once again. Just figured, because there shouldn't be anything too difficult for Quake. I have done this node many a times with Quake, so here was the first sign of trouble. I dropped a heavy prematurely, but she is gonna somehow catch me right about in this combo. I don't know why, I don't know how, because I was I think I was Xing back, but it just felt dead odd. And now obviously we're at 14%, so Assassins makes my wait fail and I die. So in essence, this was purely my fault, just because I didn't heal up, I didn't boost, because if I had healed back up to full or used like an indestructible boost, I would have been perfectly fine. I wouldn't be pushed below Assassins. So once again, if I die, it's typically when I get annoyed and or stingy. But I was still kind of like in it. I was like slightly frustrated, but whatever, I'll just go in with Corvus and quickly finish this fight out, because we are on like 3 missions. We're doing like some really good damage. So we quickly finished off that Captain Marvel, and we're gonna move on to the next fights, because yes, there are still plenty of them. So now we have this middle Emma Frost to deal with. So she's obviously a rank 2 duped 6-star, which is awesome for someone. Congrats on that. So I took a bit to cool down. I'm putting on some boosts for Corvus, and we're gonna get to it in a second. I'm not putting on any more Cosmic Power boosts, just because I figured 3 charges, we should be fine. So she does start out with limited immunity, which means I can't armor break her, which means she will spend a large portion of the fight in her diamond form. Other than that, we're perfectly fine. We just need to be kind of careful of her unblockable state and when she's throwing level 1, so we do need to fully evade those level 1s with reverse controls, but it's also like not the toughest thing. I think I will make a slip up somewhere here though. So yeah, here we go. So we ate the entire level 1 and that cost us majority of the health. However, I didn't think it would kill us anyhow, and it didn't, so it was kind of like, nah, it is alright. So we quickly finished that fight out. Now we have Darkhawk to deal with, and after some time to reflect, I suppose, we're gonna go in back against the Darkhawk. So I did heal up and revive my Quake. We're gonna smack on some boost there, and we're gonna get to it. Now this Darkhawk has Safeguard on him, so we can't use Corvus, just because it would be like a super long, stretched out and unnecessary difficult hard fight. What we can do is we can use Quake and completely pretty much forget about whatever nodes he has on. Now I was not feeling all that secure about myself in this fight, so I did put on that indestructible 3 boost, still remembering that Captain Marvel slip up. And yeah, so for Quake on like medium level boosts, Suicide's on, 33k Darkhawk is not going to be much of a problem. Just need to make sure we don't get hit too much. Other than that, we can see that one set of Aftershock charges pretty much got rid of like 1/3 of his health. So we're good there. So we're only going to need a couple more. It's going to be a super quick fight. Once again, he let us get to 18 Aftershock, so he's at like 25%. We just need another set to finish it out. So this is looking to be like a 40-second fight for Quake. Absolutely nothing tricky there. And yeah, so the fight is over with the 3rd set of Aftershocks with 2 minutes and 20-something seconds left on the timer. And now we're going to deal with a bunch of mini bosses. So we see somebody got stopped by this stealth suit Spidey. Now I can understand why he can be annoying with his evade bulwark mechanic behind him, just because he's also classed as a metal defender, and dismay and stun immunity, and yeah, definitely kind of like a slightly tricky opponent. But we have Corvus with True Strike, 4 missions, and we're gonna finish this fight out super quickly. So for Corvus, it wasn't too bad of a thing to deal with. Now we are going to move on to fight this Iceman. Now Iceman with Corvus as well is fairly easy thing, because Corvus is immune to his cold snap thing damage, or at least he should be, because sometimes Kabam decides for it to be bugged, but now it seems to be working fine. We're not losing any health. We are on 4 charges, so I just need to fight this one clean, kind of be careful of that level 1, not get hit too much. And other than that, we're just completely mincing into him. 20 seconds in fight, he's already half health. Just need to basically get to our level 2, drop the level 2, and that should be about it. And 23 hits, Iceman goes down, super easy. And last mini boss in this war is Stark Spider-Man on power gain. So now against this guy we have Quake, because Quake doesn't strike him, so we don't have to worry about power gain for most part unless we get hit, which I do end up doing here. I somehow managed to eat a heavy attack, but it's alright. It didn't push him to a full bar of power, so we're good to go. and I did not heal Quake up just because I didn't think I need to. And yeah, so for this fight I'm just gonna keep it safe, not gonna do anything too fancy, gonna land some parries in just to make sure that I absolutely can finish this fight out with as little risk as possible. And yeah, other than that initial heavy attack, there's absolutely no problems in this fight. Just need to be slightly careful not to get punished by this Dark Spider-Man, because he has a bit tricky animations. And the fight is nearly over. He's at like 22%. We're on 37%, slowly losing some health because of suicides, but we definitely do have enough to close out the fight. And that was the last mini-boss of this war. And then later on, we're gonna get some boss action. So I waited for the boss to be unlinked. As soon as it was, I pretty much rushed in there just to kind of vent out my daily frustrations on this guy. We put on Power Start 1 boost against this guy, and even though he has 50% critical resistance, Corvus 4 charges, big boost, full suicides, not gonna be much of a problem. So here we go, we land the first, level 2, he's at 61%. Now we're just gonna block, bait that heavy attack, make sure he converts some of those plasma charges into prowess, drop another heavy attack, now level 2 attack. Now that was a risky bit, because he could have gotten to 3 bars of power before deciding to attack me, but I just played it super aggressive. Another level 2, war is over. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like, hit the sub button, hit all the buttons. I'm gonna see you guys soon.